Good morning, Roger.
Good morning.
We thought it would be nice to have from time to time a talk about the foundation and share it with our friends and supporters and stakeholders. So here we are in the beautiful Teatro Ticino in Wädenswil, and I would like to ask you the first question.
Of course, let's do it.
So let's go emotionally back 13 years ago when you started the foundation. What was your motivation? What were your dreams at the very young age of 22 years old?
Well, look, in the beginning, everything was very new to me. I just started playing on the tour. I had enjoyed my first success, and because of my first success, I realized I was making some money on the tour. I was finally being able to pay my coaches by myself, away from the federation, and it was time to think forward how much more I would like to achieve as a tennis player, but then also as a human being. And I'm very fortunate, very privileged in my life, so it's a good starting point to share that with the more unprivileged people in this world, and that's then when I started the Roger Federer Foundation now 13 years ago. Didn't know what I was really getting into, I think, at the time, until I got the people around me who explained me how a foundation is run, and I found it the most fascinating thing that I could start, and it's going to be probably the one thing that's going to outlast my playing days, you know, by a long, long way. So that's how it started, very natural, very easy, and now I'm really excited to what we've gotten the foundation to and what's to come.
But this wish to give back, where does it come from?
I think it comes from the values of my parents, myself being in South Africa when I was little, seeing that Switzerland's different to Southern Africa, that you can have a big impact if you do it the right way.
I perceive the foundation as a very value-driven organization. Which particular values were important for you that they are reflected in the foundation, which actually has your name?
Well, we believe that every kid deserves an opportunity and should have access to education. So we believe very much in empowerment of teachers, of the kids when they go to school. I think that's something that's not given everywhere in the world, and particularly in Southern Africa. You know, you see a lot of poverty, and that's why I think we as the Roger Federer Foundation, we can come in and really be very, very supportive there.
How do you perceive the foundation at this very moment? Have your visions come through you had when you were 22 years old?
Yeah, I would think that actually we've gone much further than I thought I was going to be 13 years later. I never thought I was going to have such an impact on so many kids. Didn't know how active I was going to be 13 years ago. And I've realized, and I've got to learn, that I love doing everything I do. I love the field visits, I love the fundraising, I love meeting people, I love talking about the foundation. And here we are on the verge of touching the lives of 1 million kids. I think it's really, really exciting. And of course, I'm looking forward, as we're talking in the past, I'm also looking to the future to see what's going to happen after those 13 years.
You did it the hard way. You have chosen the full-fledged package of philanthropy, having a foundation at your name, being involved in all decision on a strategic level, involved in governance, going to the programs, visiting the kids. You could just write checks and send it to an international NGO, being the ambassador, and that's it. Now it's a lot of time investment of your side and money, resource-wise. Why do you do that?
I think it's a decision we took very early to say, you know what, let's have our own foundation and properly do it, you know. I didn't want to just give money to different types of organization, because then I would stand for a bit of everything and nothing. And I said I wanted to do something very specific, very precise. Early childhood education in Southern Africa. It's something that really has been at the core for me, that I wanted to be in control of what I do and have a very clear message for donors and sponsors and every people who believes in my foundation, that they know if they do give money, which I so appreciate, what it is for exactly.
What role plays the foundation in your life, in your family life, in your business life with sponsors, or also in the tennis world?
I mean, it takes a big part of my life, to be quite honest. We often talk about it with our kids now, who are old enough to grasp a little bit of what's going on. When I'm not home sometimes, I'm on a field visit, or I go do our board meetings, or we have another call. You know, I always let them know that that's what's going on. It's a big decision-making day today that I'm very excited about. Of course, because it is a family-run foundation with my parents and my wife. We often you know, speak about the foundation as well. I exchange my views and my experiences about my foundation with other tennis players, and I ask them questions, what do they do, you know? And in the business world, it's very much also with the sponsors. You know, my sponsors have been most unbelievable supportive of what I do. They believe in my values, which I think is great. They think what I do is the right thing, so they empower me actually, which is nice, and then I pass it on to others, and I couldn't do it without them. So I'm very thankful to all the sponsors.
So I quote you saying the foundation is a long-term journey and we are just at the beginning. Mm-hmm. Where do you see the foundation in 10 years? Yeah,
so I do believe we're only at the beginning, even though it's been 13 years and, you know, I'm considered one of the older guys on the tour, and I still only believe I'm at the beginning of what's to come for the foundation. It's funny to think this way, but that tells you how long I believe the life expectancy should be of our foundation. So I think it's really crucial that, of course, that all the projects that we have committed to are safe, you know, for the years to come. I think that's number one. I would never want to have to pull out because we ran out of money. So I think the business plan needs to be very clever, very well done. And then in 10 years, look, I think that's a time when I won't be playing tennis anymore. I believe I can do more field visits, more fundraising, different type of fundraising. It'll be interesting to see also if my kids will take a more active role, not in 10 years yet because they'll still be too young, but you know, I'm talking about maybe 20, 30, 40 years into the future. Yeah, and then I think build on the success that we've had in the last 13 years. I think we've really reached a very solid, nice level where we support now hundreds and thousands of kids already throughout Southern Africa. And I think that's something we need to analyze and move forward from. So I believe we can do more. How we're going to do that, I think we're going to decide it at the board level.
Thank you very much for sharing this insight with us, and see you soon.
My pleasure. It was great fun. Thank you.